Namaskar. Welcome to the Three Good General Show. I'm your host, Sri Iyer. Today, we're going to be talking about Bangladesh. It's, of course, provoking India. There is no doubt about that because today we have one other unfortunate Hindu boy being lynched to death, Amrit. And somewhere they are really trying to see what India is going to do in terms of response. Let's welcome the three generals, General Ravi Shankar, General Dushyant Singh, and General Rajiv Narayanan. Namaskaram, sir. How are you?
Namaskaram
Namaskaram.
and thanks a lot.
Nice.
Yep.
Merry
General Shankar,
Christmas
I'd
to
like
all
to
of you.
start. Merry Christmas to all of you viewers. I'm sorry I
Yeah.
forgot. I should have started with that. Merry Christmas to all of you. And General Shankar, let's start with you, sir. You have a slide deck to share with our viewers. Let's start with you. Over to you, sir.
Thanks a lot. As the slide that comes in, a Merry Christmas to everyone. And can we have the slides, please? Yeah. Uh, these are the things which are in on Bangladesh. When will the elections be held? This guy Tariq Rahman has returned to Bangladesh. He's reputed to be Tariq Rahman was once upon a time like Asif Ali Zardari, a 10% man of Bangladesh. I'm sure General Rajiv Narayanan will have more to say about him. There's an anti-India sentiment which is intensified and it is permanent. Okay, Hadi is being given a state burial next to Qazi Nazrul Islam's grave. This is the prime irony. This fellow was an out and out Islamist, and that fellow was of a different variety altogether. In fact, a lout has been put next to a national poet. It's something which only Bangladesh can do now, I suppose. And these are permanent characteristics of Bangladesh. The shooters of Osman Hadi are free and in Bangladesh. So it's very clear this is a political killing and nothing to do with India. But the perception is that it is India who's doing everything. So this is a psychology of or a mental illness of Bangladesh which you cannot cure. Okay, we should not be under any wrong impression about it. Army till date remains deployed to restore order. Now, media is under severe pressure, right? We know Daily Star, Prathamalo, New Age, they've been ransacked, intimidated. This is one country which has put its own media against itself. I mean, this thing. There is no opposition to this story except the ragtags. Okay. And if your national media is supposed to be against you and that's what the people think, serious mental derangement in Bangladesh is evident. Okay, it is like, Americans saying, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and, Fox News are all against us. Something very seriously problematic. Yunus is clearly siding the Islamists. Let's not have any doubts left. Okay. USA, ISI, and China are fully in play. I mean, no one has backed off, nothing has happened. They're all in play with their own games. One Hindu man is lynched and burnt, and the other one is followed today, as I understand. So, taking all this into consideration, we need to have a hard-headed look at Bangladesh. India needs to deal with a new Bangladesh, not the old Bangladesh, a new Bangladesh. Conversely, Bangladesh has to be intimated, it needs to deal with a new India. And this is, call it hardline, call it right wing, call it left wing, call it centrist. It's a practical, pragmatic approach. Right? No more buddy in your neighborhood, ye wo. We should have a very clear India first strategy. Okay. Now, what is this all about? Go to the map of Bangladesh, have a look at it. We know the Tetulia corridor. We also know the Rangpur corridor. I'll call it the Rangpur corridor, the corridor which can cut off from West Garo Hills to, Dinajpur. And then, of course, you have the other chicken neck of Bangladesh, Tripura down in the Chettogram, which can cut off. All three military options are on at this point of time. No more beating around the bush. We need to ensure if Bangladesh ever poses a iota of a problem, they should be assured of these responses. And they should be publicized globally, as far as I'm concerned. And we need to also declare a zone within Bangladesh in which, if interests inimical to us or activities inimical to us take place, we reserve the right to do what we have to do. I'm not looking at, tightening the border. That will happen. I'm looking at, say, 30, 40, 50 kilometers the other side of the border. And that's the dotted line which I put. Because these are the places where the Chinese want to come and put that Lal Monir Hat and that what Teesta Barrage and all. Those are all within 15, 20 kilometers. But my view is at least 50 kilometers, you put a zone inside Bangladesh and say, sorry, no more at this thing. Next, this area of Sylhet, contiguous to Tripura. The area contiguous to Tripura and Chattogram are all hill districts. They're all jungle areas. They're all hill people with ethnicities either side. People say, look, we want space. Bangladesh, greater Bangladesh and all, they want space outside into these areas. Okay, let's integrate the tribal people and start talking. So these things we need to start thinking afresh on all these issues. Okay. And then, of course, we've already put 3 military stations or cantonments, call it what you want. You station the army in Kishanganj, Chopra, and Dhubri. What do these do? People should know, and we should now publicize it. No more hiding the fact. No more pushing around. This area, whatever is here in Chopra and from whatever is there in the other side, after the other side is Jalpaiguri, you don't need a station. That's a station itself, right? You cut across the Titulia corridor and that Rangpur thumb is gone. And then, of course, Kishanganj go down and, Dhubri go down the other side of Brahmaputra from West Garo Hills. And you can create the other corridor. Of course, this is my old formation, going down. You might call it a 20-kilometer corridor, but there's hardly one road and 4 tracks out there. That's it. You have to just block them and Bangladesh is cut off. And the fact is that the Eastern Army Commander went to Tripura a few days back. It gives its own indications. But I think we need to start talking of this so that Bangladesh knows we are going to be proactive. And so does China, USA, and Pakistan come to know the chicken neck will not exist anymore. I'm being very proactive because the time has come for India to be proactive. Now, if I put it in points of, we need to give a hands off to everyone and give an external message. Time for India to do it. No more softing. Doesn't China do it? Isn't USA doing its Monroe Doctrine? Isn't China doing its, put that South China Sea 9-dash line and all? Let's have our own dashes. People should know if you are a power, you should know how to exercise it. We need to enunciate a new neighborhood policy and a new Bangladesh policy, which is pro-India. Of course, we will say if the neighbor behaves, we will behave. We will behave better. We will be large-hearted, give them 100 times. Both ways. When I say both ways, it has to be loaded and conditional. You need to have a forward-leaning military posture. I've shown it here. It's not only here, in other places also. You need a hard-headed economic outlook. Of course, forward-leaning posture will also include a tighter border security posture. The ingredients of what to do in that is something which, at this point of time, we'll not discuss, but you need to have. You need a hard-headed economic outlook, whether it is dealing for oil, giving them, you don't have to give them, cotton, shorten for garment industry. Let them source it from where they want and give it. Incidentally, just to highlight the point, our garment industry at this point of time, despite tariffs, is raking in unprecedented business and profits. After this whole story, Bangladesh's thing is stopped. Mutatis mutandis, what we were giving concessions to Bangladesh, we were subsidizing their exports at the cost of our own. I think this has to be permanent now. Oil, energy, everything has to be very, 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 very clear and cut and dry, based on contracts. No more neighborhood first kind of thing. It is India first. And you need to have conditional resource sharing. When I say conditional resource sharing, it is sharing of water. Okay? And enhance our military presence in the Bay of Bengal. Period. No foreign influences. Foreign influences, like I said, you have a policy, at their risk they can come and you do what you have to do. Operate heavily in the gray zone. We should know how to operate in the hybrid and the gray zone. And I am giving this very clearly that, it might be radical, but I think we need to start thinking radically and we properly need to do it hard-headedly. I'm enunciating a new approach. This is what I've had to say. We can debate on it as we go along. Back to you, Shri Ayarji. Oh, yeah, he's
What?
not there. Fine.
No, 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 no,
Uh,
no, 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 no.
okay.
See,
Uh,
it's getting cut off, so I took myself out,
yeah,
and
okay,
then
okay,
I
fine.
put myself back in. Sachin tried the same thing, so again I got pushed out. So sorry about that.
Okay.
General Dushyant, sir, let's take a look at your presentation, sir. Then I'll bring in
Yeah.
General Rajiv, and I have a few inputs also on what is US's role in this, but I'll come later, sir. General Dushyant.
Thank you, Ayarji, and may I have the slides since we have just about 10 minutes to go. So let me start off with my this visual, which you are all seeing, a little bit of a distortion because of the uploading of the slide. But this is what is happening in South Asia. This is what is happening. This is what is being done by various actors. So I don't have to say that the US is operating through Pakistan, through Bangladesh, and actually indirectly hitting at Bharat. As far as China is concerned, it was a foregone conclusion. They have been doing this for I don't know how many years, and they consider India as a regional competition. So therefore, their involvement is beyond doubt. Another thing which I want to highlight here is the role of Turkey. I think that is one power which has suddenly emerged and it wants to become the next caliphate commander or next caliphate chief. So Recep Erdogan seems to be interfering wherever there is such like commotion or such like incidents which are happening. I believe there was, I mean, this is unconfirmed reports, but there was a journalist who actually has been staying in Turkey for last about 10 years, moved in, and lo behold, you have the Pratham Alo and Daily Star getting burned to pieces. So this is one thing which we need to be careful about. So what my bigger point is that there is a convergence of interest against India, including the US, as far as this region is concerned. And I believe, I may be wrong, that the great game is now being played on India, around India, within India. In this, some internal people are also supporting this particular thing. So the fatal error which possibly uh, Yunus has done, I'm reminded of the story of Kalidas, who sat on the branch and was cutting the branch on which he was sitting, least realizing that once he cuts the branch, he will fall down. I think Yunus has become something like that. Somebody has to come either kick him out of that place, or he has to realize that he cannot do without Bharat. There was an article which I would like to quote. The former deputy NSA had said, "When the dust falls, it will be Bharat which would be there, seen in this particular region." I think that's something which is a telling message. If you go to the conundrum as such, there are three reasons which, in my opinion, are primarily responsible for what we are seeing. First, I've already covered, which is international interference into the area. Second is deep political polarization. I would call it as political Islam and not radical Islam. So what is happening is there is a lambandi in Hindi, the word. People are trying to get together to go against India and against Hindus. And this is seen from the way events are taking place. But more importantly, what is also seen out here is that there are some elements which are fighting amongst themselves. And that is the point which I was trying to refer to. And here I would like to mention the role of BNP, which is not in favor of this kind of dispensation, especially the Jamaat Islam. Jamaat-e-Islam is trying to postpone the elections in the belief that they will continue to hold power through a proxy called Yunus. And you have the NCP, which is now getting agitated. They want to have the elections. So, all in all, I see a political war may be translating into a civil war, and we cannot rule out Awami League. Let me tell you, Awami League had the cadre during the 1971 crisis when they were actually fighting the battle for independence along with the Indian Army. So I think those people will start getting up, or rather, they are already up and about, and there would be some amount of severe internal wars. So coming to the next thing, which is about the lifting of the ban of Jamaat-e-Islam. I will not deliberate much on this particular issue, but I will go to the last box, which is national role of National Security Advisor Khalilur Rahman. Now, this man has been exported. He was in the UN representative of Bangladesh, but he holds multiple passports. He's got, I don't know, dual, triple, how many citizenship. Probably he has been sent there with this aim to advance US interest. In fact, he was quite relevant in the humanitarian corridor issue. You know how to get the humanitarian corridor for the US. So therefore, I feel that this man is at the root or one of the causes of the current crisis which is happening. And the second person who is responsible is the military advisor. He's trying to split the military as well. I'm talking of Lieutenant General Abdul Hafiz, who is the military advisor to the Yunus government or Yunus himself. So these are some people who are trying to make a rift between the military, which can possibly stabilize the situation in Bangladesh. That is not being allowed to happen because of these two gentlemen and Jamaat-e-Islam both combined. Now you look at the other aspects. If I want to summarize, I would say that geopolitical realignment, one reason, which is deepening the crisis. Pakistan's ISI revival for anti-India activities, internally student leaders, inexperience in governance, struggle to manage economic issues, security lapses, political discord. All this is leading to media also playing its game of either mostly being anti-India and not calling out when it really matters. When minorities are being attacked. I heard a recent statement coming out from the US where and the West where this expressed concern over the minority killings, but that's just a facade. I would say a farce. I think if they are really meaning business, they have to take some solid action on it. Uh, Next is the last point, what we should do. Now, most of the issues General Shankar has covered. Firstly, is the overt gray zone must be intensified, amplify internal divisions in Bangladesh, and keep BNP also engaged. Strategic messaging to China, example K4, SLBM, and the US using trade deal as a leverage. These two things could be exercised to ensure that Bangladesh is brought around and it starts behaving the way India wants to behave. Water strategy, he has already mentioned. There are 54 rivers which go from India into this particular country. I think they are least realizing this. This fellow's brain seems to have been eaten by some virus. Hot gray zone, should the situation does not resolve in the open domain or with overt gray zone activity. And finally, be prepared for a kinetic option. Military preparedness is important, and here I would like to call upon the serious statement that next round will not have any escalation in a manner where we are using forces sequentially. It will be air, land, sea, cyber. Everything will be unleashed on a country which tries to go against India. So basically, this policy of India, as far as neighborhood is concerned, is being revived to not neighborhood first, but security first. So anybody who is going against the security and sovereignty of India, any country, any person, I think there will be very strict action taken, and they will have hell to pay for this. And keep the options beyond Yunus either through BNP and in the long term through the son of Sheikh Hasina, because you see, we should not leave any kind of a option as irrelevant. I think when the dice will turn the other way around, we don't know. So even Sheikh Hasina's son must be kept engaged along with the BNP's Tariq Rahman, about whom Jan Shankar has already spoken about. And my last message to Bangladesh would be that, Bangladesh keeps bragging about the chicken neck. Take a good look. How many chicken necks do you have dangling out there? All of them are eagerly waiting in line, just begging to be chopped off by India. You will be wiped out clean off the world map. And the blue line below shows the naval blockade or the naval option, which is very much there on the cards. We are doing active, I would say, surveillance of the entire country, including ports, including airports. I think Bangladesh should learn their lessons quickly before things become too bad for them to handle. I finish here. This is the way I look at it. There is the involvement of all the actors, including the US. Although US is trying to withdraw now, having seen that the situation is going out of control, as it happens with them every time wherever they go, whether it was Afghanistan or whether it was Vietnam or whether I can keep on naming Iraq, Iran, everywhere they have had to withdraw in a hurried manner, in a way which is not military like, not professional. With that, thank you, ARG. I think we will go ahead in greater detail in the next round. I have kept my promise to be less than 10 minutes. Over to you.
Thank you so much, General Dushyant Singh. It was really nice of you. We are going at a fast clip today. General Rajiv, your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, I'll take a step back. Both the generals have given enough adequate gunpowder for Bangladesh. And I will look at the main player in the game who tried to pull strings, which is the USA, to put it very bluntly. And why? Why did it happen? And the background I'll start is ever since the Ukraine war, our strategic autonomy has been the bugbear as far as US is concerned, that you have not listened to it. Added to that, prior to that, has been the handling of COVID and how you not only supported internally, sorted it out internally, you supported the global south, voice of global south, and the way you handled G20. When they felt the global south is slipping away, why was India identified as the main challenge? They have not said it. Action speaks louder than words. Russia is busy with his Ukraine. China is busy with their internal challenges. He is doing, I would say, petty actions in South China Sea, because ever since the debacle of the rocket force, not one rocket has been fired, missile has been fired across Taiwan. Even the hugely touted Fujian, when it crossed the Taiwan Straits and went across on the other side, all alone, no other ship, there were no aircrafts, there was no crew on the deck. So what he was doing there, they're doing there, and by the way, it's back into the yard for upgrades. It was just with all, you can say, pomp and glory, was inaugurated by Xi Jinping, I think in October or November only. It's back in that. Now, you look at certain things which have been happening in your neighborhood, where they have been attempting before they attempted Bangladesh. You had events escalating in Nepal. Of course, China was there with them. Pakistan has been there with them. And like General Dushyant said, Turkey has also jumped into the fray. You look at Nepal, there was the collapse in Sri Lanka. China lost the grip there. Muizu's anti-India stance and then collapsing out there. And you look at Sheikh Hasina's anti-US statements before the 2024 elections. They had been interfering in your elections in 2019. They thought, I don't think they gave it too much of a stress, because they felt that they would be able to do it and that 2014 was just a blip. The failure was a big issue. And just imagine in January 2024, post Sheikh Hasina winning, George Soros makes an open statement that he is investing 1 billion in regime change in India, bluntly. And they lost. When they lost, you had to do something in Bangladesh because Pakistan was already imploding. You had KP on fire, you had Baluchistan on fire, it was already imploding and looking after those things. But then they have realized also that Bangladesh at best can push in illegals. They do not have the capacity or the training or anything to fall back upon of the manner in which the ISI organizes things within India. Bangladesh doesn't have it. They only have to send the illegals inside. Now look at DJT's second term when he has come in. He has come at a time when the dollar is declining, thanks to Biden administration weaponizing the dollar. The petrodollar has also collapsed. The agreement has not been allowed to be lapsed by most of the OPEC countries, so they're not duty bound to sell it. Countries have moved away from the dollar in trading. US economy is starting to take a hit. By then, West Asia is on the boil, Europe is on the boil, and Ukraine war has sorted out economies at both ends. And his misplaced logic of tariff war, that he would do something. And in all that, if you look at it, India was targeted maximum, and all the foul language was only targeted at India, no other country. But despite all that, you find that you're doing well. So obviously the anti-India feeling is going to increase exponentially. But the shocks that they have got there, targeted killing of CIA operatives, the special forces operatives, their ISI agents who were working with them, the Turkey agents who were working with them. I think 40 plus have gone, and precise drone attacks. They have not yet been able to find out where the drones came from and how it was done. Precise, with no collateral damage, taking them out. And it starts with that 2-star general in Western Hotel Room 2808, center of Dhaka, plus naming rooms were his assistants, plus the second level of people also gone, plus the supposed humanitarian corridor that they were trying to put the Jamaitis and the Pak armies collapsed so badly when the Arakan army threw them back. That has shaken them up. And that is where I think that they are going to put, they have decided that Bangladesh has to go the Islamic way to create a problem for India from both sides. They expected that you would do something post Pahalgam. I don't say that Pakistan would have become a Ukraine. I relate it to, as far as the US is concerned, not the Ukraine, but it would have been either in Afghanistan or a Vietnam point. Because whether you take Pakistan, whether you take Bangladesh, they are going to help them to fight a grey zone battle against you with militants. Not a conventional war. If you're gone in, this is what would have happened. You didn't bite there. Now they are trying to incite you here. Like that Hindu boy who was killed. So by the way, that same day, 250 people were burnt to death, except his video, which has been circulated. The balance 250, which includes small kids. There was a BNP MLA whose house was burnt to the ground. His 2 daughters died. Not one video was circulated. It is to incite your rage within the country, to push the government to come inside. Why is he so interested in wanting you to go inside? Is to create a Vietnam or a Bangladesh that if you start attacking, start doing things, your economy will take a hit. You will no longer rise. The SIR, Bihar elections, they tried everything inside, didn't work out. The SIR in Bengal he's finding a reverse migration going there. So the election dates were announced. Best I have never seen such an election notification where the dates for counting of votes and declaration of the election, the dates have not been given, which itself is indicative that they're least interested in these dates for election to take place. Have you ever heard of an election notification where the date of counting and date of declaration of result is not given? To be decided later? What do you mean to be decided later? That's what the notification says. So you desperately needed to up the ante because the Jaish they found was not winning. You needed to up the ante. Hence, all this had to be done. Hence, that burning of the killing of Hadi. By the way, the person is known. His photograph has also been released by the Bangladesh police. It's Mr. Faisal. I don't know his full name. He's a Jamaati. He was arrested in jail on murder charges, released by Mr. Yunus last year.
Twice.
Yes. He's been released by Mr. Yunus last year. And he is a Jamaati. And he's, like General Shankar said, he's still in India. They tried to make it an anti-India.
Bangladesh. He's in Bangladesh.
Sorry,
He's in Bangladesh.
Yeah. He's still in Bangladesh, not in India. And the Commissioner of Police has come on record and openly said in the press conference that India has no hand in this. Right, sir? So, now when everything is failing, in comes Mr. Tariq Rahman, who has been in exile for 17 years. I have no faith in him. He has been, when his mother was in power till 2009, he was very close throughout with the Jamaatis. He is one of the prime suspects of the Chittagong arms haul case where weapons were caught, which was to be given to Paresh Barua's Ulfa in India. Paresh Barua was provided a safe haven with his wife and kids in Dhaka. When his mother lost the elections, he's run away. China has given him space in Ruili, but his wife and kids still stay there, sir. They run his tanneries and other factories. Okay. So he is plan B. I look at him exactly like Jolani, an extremist, a fundamentalist, suited booted. There were reports, somebody said there were talks within India, maybe Awami may support him, this, that. The day he landed and he was to come in from that flyover, there was a bomb, crude bomb thrown near a church and a Muslim guy died. Where is the video for that? You not showing it. Now today they have lynched another Hindu boy because the first Hindu boy's death has not created that much reaction from a decision maker. The Americans are trying again. He's going to fail. Because the Awami League is the biggest party going around. And now, what else can I say? The plan B, will it succeed? I really don't know. Because they failed there, they feel they are failing here. And I agree with General Dushyant's assessment that this is likely to descend into civil war, especially East versus West. General Shankar had mentioned about those tribal areas.
Yeah, elaborated.
The area complete is totally tribal. They are not, don't have Bengali culture. Let's be very clear on that. It is trying to be imposed on them and they are very angry with that. There are 3 divisions of Bangladesh placed there in Sylhet, Comilla and Chittagong is just to keep them suppressed. And in Sylhet, they are so scared that the Special Forces Training Center, the Special Forces Battalion, everything is located in Sylhet. So the case for a civil war is there. Awami League is there. I don't think the Awami League likes the BNP very much. Because this champion, Tariq Rahman, has how many? About 4 or 5 cases. Some of them he's two life sentences which have been passed on him. Starting from when he came in from October to December, he has acquitted him in all the cases.
Yes.
That's how he come. That is why I call him the plan B. He should not get too gung-ho about BNP. I have no faith in BNP. But this much I know. that our decision makers, all these people have contacts in all their parties. They have their contacts in all their parties. That would always be there because geopolitics works on realism. Geopolitics works on realism, and whoever suits your national interest is there. So I would say let him stew in his own juices. Shankar has been very kind, has only taken out from the Jaintia Hills down across to Dinajpur. I have been telling Rangpur and Rajshahi both because that is defensible. On the west flank is Brahmaputra, on the east and southern flank is Ganga. That's a defensible tract of land that you have. And of course, that Chittagong which you are cutting off, that is the Feni River which comes, that small chicken neck which is there. That is the Feni River which comes there. So take that away. And if you are in the mood, take Sylhet too. I will leave it at that. But I will add something. This is local. So, should you leave US alone? No. Let him also face the music. Let us start working with Mauritius and let them put their claims and asking for Diego Garcia back from the Americans. Let him also stew in his own juices. Venezuela, let us work with Brazil. They had taken them out at American pressure out from Mercosur. Ask them to remove their suspension, get them back in Mercosur, and let Mercosur file a case in the UN and the ICJ against piracy in the high seas against the US. So these small pinpricks you also start that handsome two can play the same game today. I also have that clout in the diplomatic world to start working in the same manner that you are working closer home to you. Then let us see what the American response is. Why should I only look at Bangladesh? Bangladesh is a symptom. The cause is US Trump. So the hurt and the pinch must be felt there also. So I'll stop here.
Thank you so much, General Rajiv. And a couple of things that I wanted to update. I'm trying to bring a picture of Amrit, the new boy who has been killed and lynched to death. For some reason, I'm not able to load it. Can you please load it, Sachin? Thank you. This is the boy, Amrit after Deepu. Another mob lynching in Bangladesh as yet another Hindu boy life lost. Amrit Mandal, 28, was beaten to death by a mob in... let me just get it a little bit... sorry about that. I'm reading Rajbari's Panksha area. Rajbari's Panksha area, barely days after Deepu Chandra Das. Allegations were made, no trial held. The Islamist mob is judge, jury, and executioner. While this is going on, there has been a diplomatic outreach to 26 heads of state written by a United Kingdom member of parliament. His name is Virendra Sharma. In the past, he's a Labour MP. I've been critical about him, but here he has done an excellent thing. He has himself written to 26 letters to 26 heads of state. And on the 22nd, there was protest outside the Bangladesh embassy in London. On 26th, that is tomorrow, there's going to be protest in front of the Bangladesh Assembly in Paris. On 29th December in New York. And you can expect many other communities along with Hindus to join these protests. This is going to be something much bigger. That is one side. On the other side, 4 congressmen and women have said that Awami League must be included for the when the elections are held. So that pressure also is building on Yunus. By the way, those 4 are Democratic Party congressmen and women. So we don't know. Sometimes Trump could take that under advisement and do nothing. Also, a lot of people now beginning to express their concerns about innocent Hindus being killed in Bangladesh. This is where things stand as far as the situation across the world. I just wanted to put that thing out. General Ravi Shankar, let's get back to you, sir. By the way, fantastic presentations from all 3 of you gentlemen. My naman to you. This is a one-of-a-kind show here because we are really getting to the nitty-gritties, and also we are going back up to the 20,000 level. It is very difficult to do both, but that's exactly what we have accomplished in this particular hangout, and a view and a request to all of you viewers, wherever you are watching, please like this video. It's coming live on 3 different channels. Please do like this video. Over to you, General Shankar. I would like you to now think about the solutions part in a little bit more, perhaps nuanced way. We can take a look at it. My information was 24 people being taken out, but General Rajiv says it's 40 plus from the United States or associated to United States. That is something that is indeed incredible. And I'm also
not just United States, Turkey, ISI, all 3.
Okay. So
only Chinese were not targeted. Till date, India has not targeted Chinese. There's a messaging going to China too.
So my information was it was 24 from America. Private military contractors, I think, I'm not 100% sure, very, very tight-fisted about what is happening, because once the body bags start arriving in US, believe me, it will be pandemonium on the streets. So this is being very carefully massaged and managed. Over to General Shankar. I have had my say. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Regarding the second Hindu who's been targeted and all that, expect it to happen. One, and don't react. It will happen. There's a war going on. Let's be very clear about it. Okay. So don't bother and expect the fact that their own killings, the other killings will not come out. US killings will never come out in this whole story. Because that's all they're black ops. It's not even grey ops, they're black ops. CIA black ops, period. And they are private military contractors. If you think body bags, they'll never go. Okay, these are standard operations which are going on. Be prepared to fight. Like I said, you need to have a forward-leaning posture. You need to be proactive. Okay, and what we are doing is quite okay. But you need to twist other tails. You need to ensure that, whatever foothold USA has got here goes and the ISI chaps go. So, what we do with Bangladesh, we do. Okay, what all Rajiv has said about, handling things through Brazil, everything we put it through. You already given a message to China. Let me also put it in a different manner. China doesn't have the leg to stand on here. It depends on ISI here. It doesn't have its own capability here. And the fact is that China has in its own problems. China can't, you know what China is. Okay. At this point of time, China, if you see the Chinese press, 40% of their media is talking about Japan. Please understand, that lady, one statement has lit a fire under Xi Jinping's backside.
Takaichi.
Okay. Takaichi. Sanai Takaichi, one statement. She's a very smart, you hear Mayor Sherman talking of her, she's done a very smart thing. She's completely torpedoed the China's Taiwan dream. The China dream is gone. So China is in a tizzy. It doesn't have time for Bangladesh. It doesn't have time even for Pakistan. Right? It is this fellow. And this Sarji Gore, who's come here, has started playing his games, incidentally. So this game, we will have to fight in a different manner. So what is this different manner? You have to strike at Pakistan. Pakistan is the root of all your problems today. It is not Bangladesh. Bangladesh is controllable. Bangladesh has only 150 kilometers border with Myanmar. The rest is with us. And they are at our mercy. You don't have to fight, go inside, all that. Just bottle them. It's like taking a bottle, put a cork, leave it, let that damn thing happen, whatever happens. And like they say, aged whiskey is better, let it age. That age will be, sediments will fall, everything will happen. After that, we'll see. We'll open that cork after 10 years. Till then, you can finish, Bangladesh, you have to handle, like I said, do a hard-headed business. The guy who you have to really handle is that mullah there in Pakistan. And that mullah in Pakistan has to be poked in the eye. And the eye which is to be poked is POJK. You have to start a political outreach to POJK. That is part of your constitution that this is my land. Start claiming it. As it is there, Afghanistan is in a boil. He's got a problem with Afghanistan. Today, there is, you hear that Maulana Diesel, Fazlul Rahman, and the whole lot. A lot of mullahs are against that military mullah already. Fan that. How do you fan that? You fan that through JNK. Then they'll feel the thing with, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa or Baluchistan in a problem. Water anyway, we are doing what we have to do. Start JNK. You start a political outreach, not military outreach, to JNK and Gilgit Baltistan. Then you'll see the cat jumping on all roofs. That is what we have to do. Many times it's the indirect approach which matters. That's what Sir Littlehart taught us. And that's a book, Strategy of Indirect Approach. You want to finger USA, you want to finger China, you want to finger Pakistan and get a solution to Bangladesh. The center of gravity is JNK. The moment you do that, everyone will focus there. What did you do? What happened in Article 370? It was a political strike. And that left everyone on the sidelines. People have not recovered from that so far. And don't worry about your economy, because your economy has grown despite US. Forget despite US is coming here. It's not simple that Microsoft says I'll invest $17 billion here. It's not simple that Google says I'll invest $5 billion here. It's not simple that, Intel says I'll make a manufacturing chip here and next day Tata says come. They have no choice. They can't go anywhere. They don't have a China option left anymore. They have no Pakistan option for this. Pakistan is a mentally ill nation. I'm not joking. I'm being very serious. They are mentally ill as per Hamid Mir and, a few others who appeared in their own, in Geo TV and in Dawn. There are analysis in Pakistan which says we are mentally ill. And I'm going to talk of it tomorrow morning. So we have to look at the way things are changing around us. Don't fight this battle with traditional political military thought. Don't fight this with traditional geopolitical thought. Use new tools as part of your gray zone strategy. And that's what I've had to say now. Back to you, Shreyaji.
Thank you so much, sir. And General Dushyant, before I hand the control to you, sir, I want to just pick up on what General Ravi Shankar said. When the last World Cup was hosted in India, we put up giant screens overlooking some areas of Pak-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. So the people there could actually watch the games. Every game was screened, I believe. And the reason there was a subtle messaging that you guys may not have power, but here you can watch the games from here. And this was a very big success. Now, for the past 4 or 5 years at least, I'm told, this is again not confirmed, but I'm told India has the capacity to hold elections where you can just vote with your phone using blockchain and facial recognition. And India also has the records of who is a genuine POJK person, not the imports from Punjab. So given all that, India should have by now at least encouraged allowing the natives of the real natives of POJK and Gilgit Baltistan to vote using their phones. This is something that's going to require some work, of course, because you have to have, if I start thinking about it, you have got to do a little bit more work. But this would definitely set the cat among the pigeons. You don't need to go in there. You just have to enable them. Even if 1,000 people voted, that would be a big deal. So India has that capacity. I just wanted to plant that thought in our people's minds. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, Ayarji, thank you very much for the second round. I think today we are getting to be a little lucky. So I would like to highlight certain things which we need to follow as far as Bangladesh is concerned. Firstly, the situation in Bangladesh and Pakistan are entirely different. So therefore, the solutions also have to be entirely different. So I will now focus on the solutions. Some of it has already been spoken to by General Ravi Shankar, and I had told that in my initial brief also that the gray zone has to now shift to hot gray zone. What is hot gray zone? Gray zone means covert, overt, everything has to now get applied. It is not that when we are saying that the kinetic action has to be there on the card means that we are going to enter Bangladesh. No, we don't have to enter Bangladesh. We can actually cut Bangladesh off with number of other means and measures, and those need to be now exercised, whether they are in terms of economic, whether they are in terms of information warfare. I think that is something which we need to now take it up very, very seriously. For example, internal divisions, we've already spoken about it, tribal areas, non-tribal areas. Within the mullah community, there are so many differences. There are suited booted mullahs represented by the BNP, and then there are those hardcore Jamaate Islami mullahs. And then I don't want to specifically mention, and I briefly told that look, the same nation has the capacity to fight also and fight against tyranny. So if the tyranny is being raised by Jamaat Islam, there are people who can be mobilized now to fight such elements within Bangladesh. That's the way we need to fight initially. Keep our gunpowder ready for any military action which we may have to take for any misadventure which Yunus and his advisor, so-called Lieutenant General Saab, would like to play around, least realizing that their chief is actually approaching India to save their situation. Look, we can only save your situation if you save yourself or if you help yourself. I don't think the army of Bangladesh is actually in a position to control this situation, either because of the leadership deficit or there is something deeper happening below the surface. I have not gone into so much of detail. My thing is, there, if you really want to take action, there are options here also. There are 9 to 10 terror camps being run by ISI or for Jamaat Islam and radical elements in Bangladesh also. So if we have to strike, we can follow a little bit of hard option also, right? Then, and these are the people who are actually inciting and killing the Hindus. So we need to actually go deeper into our options and take those options if required. If the sar se pani upar chala sar se upar chala gaya pani, then we have to exercise those options. Last point which I want to highlight here is that the issue which you mentioned about POJK. Now, POJK, not only the voting which you suggested, and I think that's a brilliant idea. Also, there are 10 seats which we have left open in our assembly.
Yeah, I've been
Why?
talking of this from
right.
long.
Yeah.
So why are we still quiet on that? It is because of our own internal politics. And I think we have to get over that internal politics through a political stroke like the Article 370. Somebody will have to, our actually leadership will have to take that harsh action and go ahead with it. It might benefit them for all you know. I'm just being beneficial from I'm just being hinting from an internal point of view also. It might benefit certain quarters. So overall, I would say that Bangladesh needs softening by means non-kinetic. Be prepared for kinetic and choke it not only from the land but also from the sea. Block all their routes, cork them in, let them. You heard that story of the frogs boiling in a water. Slowly you increase the temperature. I mean,
Slow cooked.
ultimately,
Slow
uh,
cooked. Hmm.
yeah, slow cooked. Ultimately, he realizes that he has no strength left to jump out of the vessel. So that is the situation as far as Bangladesh is concerned. It is ideally suited to be turned around without firing a bullet. Given the geography, I would say it is here that the geography favors us, unlike in Pakistan. As far as Bangladesh is concerned, the geography is with us, both on the land and on the sea. and I'm not even mentioning about Myanmar. So, there is a huge opportunity there to convey to the right people at the right places that, look, partner, behave, or we will ensure that you are, you know, finished from this world. हमने तुम्हें आजादी दी थी, हम आजादी ले भी सकते हैं. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. General Rajiv, I want to pick up on what you had said about the drone attacks. Sir, एक आध ड्रोन मुल्ला व्हाट्स हिज नेम मियां मिट्टू पर भी डाल देते इधर.
उसकी बारी भी आएगी. So time उसकी बारी भी आएगी. That's why he's getting very worried. Because it was not one or two, there were 10 drone attacks from within. 10. That's the fear. After the US Marine SF, the Inspector General and his team, and then the number 2 team, which was also there, I think, around Chittagong, were eliminated. Whoever was left flew, as far as the SF was concerned, he flew out from Chittagong and back to Hawaii, and they've not set foot back again. The SF has not set foot back again in Bangladesh. What are available today are CIA along with their private military contractors, and they are getting eliminated. And like General Shankar said, they are private military contractors. They will be Osama bin Laden on the high seas. Doesn't make a difference to them. Doesn't make a difference to CIA as far as CIA is concerned. And yes, I would say gray zone, kinetic, non-kinetic in all domains. If I can spoof GPS elsewhere, why not in Dhaka? Why not over Chittagong?
Absolutely.
Spoof it off so that the airport is shut, nobody goes there. What does he do? And of course, you can block it off and tell you want that Coast Guard which rammed our fishing trawler in which 5 people died. Unless he comes, we are not going to clear it. Will America have the strength to send somebody here? I don't think it is 1971. Because they've got a warning from the Russians. Yunus Mia has got a warning from the Russians. They said,
Yes.
Do not forget 1971. The hint is that the Soviets had come at that time to push the Russians away. And at the moment, this much I can tell you that there is a Trinetra operating out there also. It is India, Russia, and the Israeli INT, which is working overtime out there. And the Americans are not getting much from ISI and others. CIA, let's see how much. After this kind of targeting and the messaging which has gone to the Chinese, I don't think the MSS is going to share any information with the ISI guys and others, because they would be feared that we get targeted out there. So they stand out like a sore thumb. A Chinese stands out like a sore thumb in Bangladesh. So the Bangladeshis, yes, needs to be put in place, but in that I would say make him stew in his own juices. Let him cook. The slow cook, like General Dushyant said about the frog. And yes, you can create, there are so many fissures that are existing within that can be utilized. Even if you feel that it is not going towards a civil war covertly, why don't you assist and let it burn? Once it starts burning, then it's very easy for you to walk in and secure whatever areas you need for your security for the Northeast. That's all I'd say.
Thank you so much, sir. And let's get to some questions now, please. First question for General Shankar. It is honored to hear 3 good generals. Its special forces from Turkish is operating out of Baluchistan. There was a raid and they took ISIK operative taken captive by Turkish forces. Is it new development? Sir, this is out of topic. You can feel free to ignore it also if you want.
We'll pass this. We'll leave it out at this point of time.
Yeah, just hang on, sir. The same next question to you also. Again, Akash wants to know, we live in interesting times. Apparently, while Tariq Rahman arrives in East Pakistan, there is Turkish special forces deployment in the West Pakistan. Does the enemy understand what he is doing?
Yeah, look, they have a plan. Let's be very clear. They have a plan. They have a Gathbandhan. वो तो चलाना है ना, तो we'll handle it. It's just that what people need to understand is India is not the India of 10 years back. That's what you portrayed in that movie Durandar also. The things are changing. And there must be some Durandars around by now who are acting already.
Sir, in part one, there is no India involvement, sir, other than one finance minister and his son giving the plates and all that stuff for fake currency.
नहीं अभी पार्ट 2 में देखो ना, धुरंधर बड़ा हो गया. लास्ट धुरंधर पिक्चर आपने देखा तो एंड में क्या हो रहा है?
अभी वो फेज 2 बता दिया उसने.
फेज 2 का शुरुआत है तो ऑलरेडी. Look, it's like this. You see, as and when a country grows big and its economy, everything goes up, the awareness also increases. It's part of the natural environment. So we'll handle all these things as they grow. We shouldn't get worried about it.
Next question. This is to General Dushyant. Are we doing the same mistake with Bangladesh, what we did with Pakistan, separating common man from army, saying we are not against people? I believe the sentiment of army comes from civil society and vice versa. General Dushyant.
Well, as far as the two countries are concerned, Bangladesh and Pakistan, my view is that as far as Pakistan is concerned, it is almost entirely totally radicalized, or a little on the hardcore side. Anti-India sentiment is the basic foundation of its existence. As far as Bangladesh is concerned, it is mired by, I always say Bangladesh has two Bangladeshes. One Bangladesh is a kind of a neutral Bangladesh, and the second Bangladesh is like Pakistan. As of now, you are seeing the Pakistani forces which are dominating Bangladesh. So we have to make certain distinctions here. Like I said, Pakistan is a different kettle of fish. Bangladesh is a different kettle of fish. And let me tell you, it's not the army which is the problem in Bangladesh. It's just the other way around. There are elements of the army who still owe their affiliations to West Pakistan that are causing these problems, and they have been there in the armed forces of Bangladesh right from 1971. I have interacted with many of them. There are two types of people, and both are essentially they come into power as per the political government which is there. So when it is Awami League, its entire Bangladesh becomes Awami League. Now you are getting a feeling that the entire Bangladesh is actually BNP. I'm sorry, no. We just highlighted to you so many tribal areas are there which are not in favor of radical Islam, etc. There are within the Islam community, there are people who are possibly now undercover, because if they come out in the open, they'll also be lynched or taken to task. So therefore, they are also operating. And let me tell you, when the situation changes, you don't know. So we are keeping our options open, including the military options.
Next question, please. General Rajiv, this is for you, sir. Oh, it actually comes for you, addressed to you. General Rajiv predicted in 2024 that Xi Jinping will resign for sure, but nothing happened. Why? What actually happened? Sir, you can feel free to ignore this because it's not on the topic, but
yeah, it's beyond the topic, but I'll give you the answer separately later.
Thank you. Next question. Stay on, sir. This is for you again. Why are we still continuing trade with Bangladesh? I mean, sending rice, onions, potatoes, etc. Any comment? General Rajiv, and then others can also weigh in.
I think General Dushyant has already answered that question. Don't compare Bangladesh with Pakistan. Pakistan is a totally different kettle of fish. Bangladesh is very, very, very different. I've been there for a year, though 30 years ago, but I don't think that has changed that drastically. So that is the reason why some rice, onions, potatoes you send. It is like liquid oxygen, I would say. Liquid उसे जीने नहीं देगी, oxygen उसे मरने नहीं देगी. So you keep the kettle boiling slowly.
I would also add here that Bangladesh problem is essentially also driven by population. The population being so large that if we totally choke them up, these guys will actually infiltrate. They'll go through river, they will go through marshland, they will go through any such antiques and come into India and ultimately get an Aadhaar card of India and become an Indian citizen. So it is better to keep these guys on their side and let them roast and cook on their side. But for that to happen, we need to keep them sustained, so that is also one of the reasons, hard, brutal analysis, I would say.
Next question, please. This is for General Shankar. Are you suggesting India to violate international border and invade Bangladesh to capture its
No.
land like Russia did? How can we survive spine-chilling Western sanctions in that case? It's already been sanctioned.
See, Moore's law, I know you are not an Indian first, and you are not, you are probably, we've had discussions before. So I know where this is coming from. The last thing India should do is invade Bangladesh and be foolish. That's the most foolish thing. We have other things. Bangladesh doesn't need invasion, and all that nonsense. It needs surgical operations. And that surgical operations had to be in the gray zone, surgical light. Surgical light is best in gray light. So we'll do that. Right? Now, we don't have any spine-chilling Western sanctions. We had spine-chilling Western sanctions from 1971, and we've got over them. And our spines are still first class and absolutely going. Now, the time has come for others to think of spine-chilling actions by India. We'll chill their spines, okay? And it starts with USA. Remember, as days go by, like your tail is caught in China, your tail will get caught in India also. You don't have a choice. You look at Washington Post today. There's a thing about economy of USA, right? 10 slides, 10 things have come out in that. And look at that manufacturing thing. Despite all this nonsense which you people have said, the manufacturing has gone down in USA in this year. Okay? And that manufacturing and your IT has to come to India at some point of time. Then your tail will be here. And once your tail is in India, your spine will be chilled there. I guarantee you that 5 years from now.
Next one, please. Milburn wants to know, this is for General Dushyant, has our military been infiltrated and are we doing anything about it if true?
Whose military? Bangladesh or?
Has our meaning India.
We are assuming he's from India. Okay, Cherian. So I suppose he's from India. Look, Cherian, I don't think that is any kind of a I would say acceptable statement. Also, one odd incident here and there should not let you get away with this feeling that our military has been infiltrated. I think we have one of the best militaries in the world. I'm not trying to be patriotic here. I'm just saying from my experience, and I'm sure the other two generals would stand by me. Every army has one or two such vagabond people, and they are taken to task as per our internal processes. So be rest assured.
Thank you, sir. Next question is directed at me, so I'll take a chance, take a shot at it. How do you balance Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? You produce a multi-party series throwing insults at Christ, Christians, and church, and also open today's program with Merry Christmas. Arvind, the answer is very simple. I look at everybody first as a human being. The series about Christianity was intended, directed at the people who are trying to convert innocent, poor Hindus in India. If you can't understand the difference between that and wishing somebody Merry Christmas, I mean, good luck to you, boy. All I can say is we have to first treat everyone as human beings, and then you are something else. You are a citizen of some country. You have some religion. Religion is something that you keep to your home, within your confine, your puja room. But when you start flaunting it out, there comes a problem. And I mean, next we are going to take on the other community too, the other desert cult too. So it's not uniquely for only one. I don't want to ramble on and on. Let's go to the next question now. All generals, namaste. All of you don't think that India is running short of soldiers to handle this three-front threat. India must have 50 lakh standing army, 50,000 tanks, 20,000 fighters. Sir, these are all people who are trying to find out, they're trying to dig into it. Sir, General
We are talking of gray zone warfare. You are looking at kinetic action with the armed forces going in. You're in a
We
different
don't.
zone altogether, Ransom.
Don't worry, handsome. We have enough army for what we have to do.
Yes.
Okay, even with Pakistan, we don't want to fight. We just want J&K back. We want Gilgit-Baltistan back, the political route. Even here, we'll adopt the political route and look. Why should I unnecessarily waste my army in doing all this nonsense? We'll keep it for China. Message usko bhi ja raha hai. Don't worry.
Next one, please. Abhijit, this is for you, General Dushyant. Is it possible to increase trade and tourism between Northeast India and Southeast Asia if there are many major problems due to which this is not happening at a larger scale? General Dushyant.
Yeah, I mean, see, possibility is always there. We have very good relations with Southeast Asia or ASEAN. There are connectivity problems because of internal situation of Myanmar. We are trying to address those. If, as and when this region becomes stable, we would be able to hype up that particular route. Otherwise, the sea route is always available. The Northeast products are going to go through the sea route to this ASEAN. I think there's no such major issue to be bothered about. That is why people keep talking about chicken neck, etc. So they forget their own chicken necks, and there are mota desi chicken neck, desi murge wale chicken necks hai un logon ke paas. So don't bother about them. We will be able to handle them. The only thing which I have is that our lines of communication as of now are tenuous, so we need to we need to ensure their security at all costs. That is our primary task, and that we will continue to do. And accordingly, we have taken actions as far as our armed forces are concerned, as far as our internal security forces are concerned, right up to the northeast. And alternate routes work is going on. After all, Haifa was supposed to be a big success, but it got derailed because of the Israel-Hamas war. So such things will happen in the course of a life of a country or life of a region. So wait and watch.
I have something to say on this. You don't mind? Yeah. You see,
Sir.
what one has to understand is our Northeast is undergoing a huge change. The kind of investments and the kind of investments internally and externally which are coming into the Northeast are driving a huge change. Say, 2 years back, 3 years, even 1 year back, this was not visible. It was not visible. Today, in the past 2 months, 3 months, there's a trend which has come up in the social media about the investment and the progress and the change which is happening in the Northeast. And I'm not giving you government policies. Government policies should be distrusted. All governments across will say what they have to say to make them look good. But when the common man starts speaking, then you feel the change. And that change is happening. Right. The second trend, which I've seen in the past, say, 1 month, is a lot of people from the Northeast are telling Bangladesh, just lay off. You're getting into trouble if you come here. If you think Bangladesh migrants will be allowed, all that, there's going to be a problem. And there's going to be...
Can't hear you.
Yeah. There is going to be a problem for all... there is going to be a problem for many of these guys who migrated, especially, there's a lot of migration or illegal migration which happens through Dubri, along the Brahmaputra, in Barpeta and Kokrajhar areas, Alipurdwar. Already the tribals are up in...
Sir, for some reason you're getting muted and maybe
you can hear now.
Yeah.
There is already an issue which is going on. Okay, so things will change. There is change happening in the Northeast, consequent to the developments in Bangladesh, which never happened earlier. This kind of a development I'm seeing for the first time from the people of the Northeast. And when the people start behaving in a particular manner, you have to understand it. And to me, it's a very great thing that the people of the Northeast are standing up for their rights from outside interference. Boy, when that happens, Bangladesh, watch out.
General Shankar and General Rajiv and General Dushyant, my August 15, there's a girl from Arunachal Pradesh, 5 years old or 6 years old. She is belting out Janagana Mana. That's kind of etched in my ROM, like a ROM in my head. So beautifully done. So next question, please. This is for General Dushyant, I think. Does the West have an East Timor-like outcome in India's northeast? This may explain why Bangladesh is being pushed to provoke India, much like Ukraine was used to weaken Russia.
Nothing.
You see, correct.
Yeah, good.
No. I think
General Rajiv. Yeah, sir.
I think it was your turn actually.
Oh, sorry, sir. General Rajiv.
Nothing like this is going to happen. These are all, like we say in Hindi, khali pulao. He may think about these issues. You just heard General Shankar what he said, and they are very hardcore nationalists in North. I've served there for almost 4 years, and that was about 10-15 years ago. Hardcore nationalists even then. Let's be very clear about Northeast. If the Americans think they're going to do something, they get such a kick up their backside, they will not know whether they are coming or going.
I must tell you a personal experience of mine here, and it puts a lot of things in perspective. It opened my eyes. I was in a hardcore insurgency area commanding my brigade, and we caught one hardcore insurgent leader. I wouldn't say caught. He was in public, and I was having an interaction with him. So one day I bluntly asked him, "Why are you doing all this?" And he very bluntly told me, he says, "Sir, all this I'm doing for politics. Internal politics, and community. I want to be a leader and all." And I mean, mind you, it was one of the most feared groups. The Joint Secretary Home used to fear speaking to this fellow. Okay, and I was speaking to him like this. Then I said, "Look." Then he told me something very interesting. He says, "Sir, if there's a war, be rest assured we'll be behind you." Can you imagine? One of the most feared insurgent leaders of that area, which the government of India used to treat with, kid gloves, telling me, "When there's a war, we'll be with you." That is the feeling which people have. So don't get carried away by what's happening and what gets reported. The undercurrent is something different in the Northeast. And there are enough guys like me who have served there who know what Northeast is.
Thank you so much, sir. Next question. Kumaresh Ananda, thank you for your super sticker. Next one, please. Sunil Naik, this is back to you, General Shankar. Does India know Afghanistan is supporting Al-Qaeda, TTP in Bangladesh?
Al-Qaeda, TTP in Bangladesh? Where will TTP come in Bangladesh? Don't get carried away. Don't get carried away, please.
Thank you, Sunil Naik, for your generous donation. Okay. Next question. Thank you, Sachin. This is for you, General Dushyant. Do you feel that the government has been very soft on Bangladesh? Not even hard statements are going from our side, in spite of all the vitriol from their end. Very disappointing.
Okay. Deep waters remain very silent. What is happening below the deep waters, we'll come to know much later. Things are taking place, and they are taking place in a very, very systematic and a planned manner. I will just rest my case here. What all is happening, I think you will get to know.
I'll just add one statement in here. Like what he had mentioned, and since we were talking earlier, the flavor was Northeast. Just go and stand at Brahmaputra and have a look. The top of the river looks very calm. Try putting a stick inside and see how fast it flows away.
Thank you, Sunil Naik, for your generous donation. Can radicals overthrow constitution and bring Sharia in Bangladesh? General Rajiv.
They tried. It never happened. He had to pull back. This year's July was supposed to be when he was supposed to change the constitution, everything. What happened? Got a kick up his backside. He couldn't do anything. And he wanted that constitution to be in place for 1 year and wanted to have elections in July. And all this is also doing to delay his elections. Like I said, and he issued a notification. There is no date for the counting
Yes.
of votes. There is not even the venue has been given, where they are going to count, how they are going to count. No date given, nor has he given the date when the results are to be declared. And by the way, this notification itself, if you look at it legally, is illegal. There is no gazette notification issued by the president of Bangladesh which has cancelled the Jatiya Parishad, as they call it, the National Assembly. It's not yet been done. It's not there. How can you may give an election notification if the Jatiya Parishad has run its course and a fresh election has to be done? Where has it run its course? Last January only the elections took place. So how are you holding elections? For what? And last point I'll say, he calls himself the chief advisor to the interim government. Well, who's the interim government? There is no interim government. If he's the chief advisor, how is he taking decisions? Now, these are the issues that I'm sure the narrative warfare is starting, and that is why the press was burnt.
Thank you so much, sir. What a session it was. Wonderful having all of you together today. And it's a matter that's very close to our hearts. Viewers, you should, maybe we want to watch this thing again, because there are lots of hints that were dropped when the generals were speaking. Try to internalize it. We should not respond to any such thing emotionally, because that's exactly what the other side wants you to do. And in this other side, I regret to say, even my country is there. I have flat out asked this question: what is US going to gain from all this stuff? Even if they get a humanitarian corridor, even if they get access to all the rare earths, which they are not going to, what are they going to do with all the rare earths? The processing is a backbreaker. It's just, we have to deal with the reality. And today morning, I put out a video on how China has said no to the NVIDIA chips that US said was, with a great effort, gesture, we are going to give you this chip. China said, we don't need this. So there's a different game being played there. Anyway, thank you so much, sir. And we'll see you again all next, I think next year.
Super chats have come in. If you could, I think we could.
Oh, okay. Just give me a second. Let me take a look at it. Yeah. Barol, I don't know. I can't even try it. TFR of Turkey 1.5 and Bangla is 1.9. Problem is for 20 plus 25 years. God save us for 25 years. 3 thinking generals, kudos to them. China is dead in 5 years. Bhavishyavani being given, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, there's one more. Uniman, just
yeah, hang on.
Uniman Y3C. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Uniman, thank you so much for your generous donation. Thank you, sir, for speaking against minorities. Christians are getting beat up for all the love you guys spread. I don't know what he means by that.
That's okay. Yeah.
Thanks once again, generals, and we'll again see you next year. Namaskar.
Namaskar.